If there was any respite to be found, it was here on the Russian River. A river otter popped up next to Larry Laba's inflatable canoe, then dived down with a plop. A yellow swallowtail butterfly, big as a hand, fluttered past. Yet everywhere were signs of the West's ever-intensifying drought, with the Russian River taking the early hit. Laba, the owner of Russian River Adventures, who had paddled this river hundreds of times over 20 years, made note of unfamiliar things that made him uneasy. The river was at a historic low. A hot wind blew through the canyon, when summer breezes here are usually gentle and cool. The leaves of the cottonwood trees made a brittle, crackling sound. The same trees, way up high, had cracked branches from a devastating flood in 2019. Just below the water's surface, Laba noted colonies of an algae he'd never seen. Then there was his worry over algae he couldn't yet see. In 2015, during a terrible drought, his dog Indy, whom he described as a dumb, happy-go-lucky retriever no one could resist, died of a seizure on the river. The next week, a 2-year-old golden retriever died on one of the trips run by Laba's company. This time officials pinpointed the cause as a fast-acting neurotoxin from blue-green algae. The algae occurs naturally, but when temperatures rise and water is warm and stagnant, it blooms and releases poisons. The Russian River area holds a panoply of California treasures: majestic redwoods, ocean mists, summer sun, famed wineries, breweries, and a casual, come-as-you-are culture that mixes high-brow with hippie and a bit of barn party. It also sits at the center of climate-related disasters. After the drought, which ended in 2017, came fires that burned across 8 Northern California counties, killing 23 people. In late February 2019, at the tail end of the wet season, rain pelted down without halt. Some of the area's mountains saw 400% more than the average amount of rain for the month. The river flooded, cresting at 45 feet, the highest in more than 2 decades. The river valley towns of Guerneville and Monte Rio became islands, with automobile parts and pieces of buildings floating past. Restaurants that sat on cliffs 30 feet above the river were underwater. In August 2020, walls of fire surrounded those same towns as more than 12,000 residents evacuated through smoke and ash. Vineyards burned and beloved cabins turned to tinder. Up and down the west coast, fires raged, sparked by a combination of extreme heat and a lightning siege. For weeks, this valley, which usually has air so fresh that you can taste the ocean, registered some of the worst air quality in the world. Laba said he avoids thinking about what all of it, drought, fires, floods, lightning sieges, heat waves, means. "Look, I can't go there," said the 69-year-old. "I'm not a worrier. I can't lay awake at night thinking about climate change.